Hello there my friends, and finally I have the long awaited review from 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days Season 5 Tell-All, and this is the first part. And so guys, I found it quite interesting. I think what I was left with after watching this tell-all was the fact that a great many of the people from this season are still utterly delusional. And I would love to know, and if anybody does know, put it down in the comments because I would love to know this. Did people see the season and then do the tell-all? I know obviously they filmed the season, but were people aware of how they came across on TV before this tell-all? Or were they halfway through? I would love to know that because both Mike and Ben both seem to be of the opinion that they can dish out shit sandwiches to other people. And they're both labouring under the illusion that somehow they can be made to seem the good guys. Oh God. Anyway, let's get into it. Before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. Please make sure you hit the red button and press the notification bell. One of my subscribers told me last week they hadn't been receiving the notifications, so if you haven't pressed that bell, press it. If you have, maybe take it off and then re-put it on again. And so you know every time I drop a video. And also, as usual, don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoy my content. And so we start as usual with Sean, and she lets us know the tell-all starts now. For many of these so-called couples, it all actually ends now. But who's splitting hairs? Well, me, but anyway. We go as usual to the green room first. And this was actually quite funny. And we find Gino sitting on his own. And for the first time this season, he doesn't look homeless. Today he looks like 1980s thrift store. And not in a good way. But at least it's not homeless sports looks. Well done, Gino. And I think then Mike came in. And they exchanged pleasantries. But guys, when Kim came in, she wasted no time in saying that she thought Ella was trash for cheating on that nice man. And Ben was asked if he was nervous. And he said he was slightly nervous of turning up, but he can take the bullets. But he's not sure if Mahogany can. Ben, there are no bullets to be fired at Mahogany. She's a child, you weirdo. Guys, I forgot to say, I'm going to do a Ben roast. Maybe it's going to be right at the end of the season because I haven't had time. But yeah, Ben's set to get it with both barrels from me. He's in my crosshairs. I'm going to roast him so hard that pink skin's going to turn a lovely golden brown. But guys, what he said next, I was absolutely agog. Ben actually sat there and said a lot of the guys aren't standing up to their women this season. What? And then he said they're allowing them to cross the boundaries of human dignity. Ben, do you even know the meaning of the word dignity? I bloody doubt it. And right when Ben was mid-flow, Ella walked in. I'm sure that's one of the people he was talking about. And I have to say, it kind of looked like she'd lost weight, but then I later just discovered it was all tears. But Ben was in full flow by this point. He said, Kim, you came on too strong. If that is not the pot calling the kettle black, honestly. Ben, you chased a 22-year-old child across continents. But he continued, we're men and we're the predators. We're lions looking for our gazelle. If a gazelle attacked me, it would be a turn-off. I wouldn't know what to do. Right, okay, let's pick this apart for a moment. Men are the predators. When lions are looking for gazelles, they're looking to attack them, rip them limb from limb, and devour them. They're looking to eat them for dinner. They're not looking to mate with them. They're not looking to procreate with them. And I was just about to say I'd love to know where Ben was educated, but unfortunately, we know, don't we? But Kim's absolutely fuming and she said, I don't like being called a predator. But unfortunately, she didn't bother saying it to Ben's face. She waited until he was gone. Kim, for all your big talk, you're no Angela Deem and you're no baby goat Lisa. And she said, I did like Ben, but that was a complete insult. Guys, honestly, if I were Kim, I would have read Ben for absolute filth. Well, in fact, I'm not Kim and I'm going to read him for filth at some point in the future. Anyway, but I would have honestly ripped him a new a-hole. I really would. Be careful, Ben. Chris Jensen's about to do a pop-up on you right about now. Well, at least Mahogany knows one thing. Ben won't leave her for a younger girl. Legally, he can't. Yeah, if he said that to me, I would literally ruin him on the spot. But having said that, Kim did chase Soja Boy around the bedroom a couple of times, so I guess he had a point in a way. And that's about it from the green room. We find out that Kim and Memphis are firm friends. And Kim grasped Ben up to Memphis. And Memphis said, I hate this double standard. That men can go out with a much younger woman, but not the other way around. Yeah, I guess it is a double standard, but I don't think that's what Ben was talking about. Ben was talking about Kim chasing Soja Boy around the bed, trying to pull his knickers down. That's what Ben was referring to, I think. But anyway, yeah, the whole green room thing irked me. Why does Ben think that women are there to be hunted and not connected with? And for some reason, Ben's labouring under the illusion that his coercive patter works on us all. Well, Ben, it doesn't. Just because you say something confidently and definitively does not make it true. And from the green room, Mike tells everyone he just hopes that the public perceive him as a good person. Mike, they won't, because you're not. And so the tell-all begins, and Sean's like Benjamin Button. She's getting younger and younger, tell-all by tell-all. And she tells us she's got a massive surprise for us all. Oh, really? Are the police there to arrest Ben? No, apparently not. Hamza's there, in person. And she said everyone was very surprised. Really? No one's got Instagram then? I knew who's over here about 3 months ago. And they introduced everybody on the stage, and I can't help but notice Jasmine's wearing a terrible wig. Not just a terrible wig, but a cheap necklace from a supermarket. To go with her ring, no doubt. Guys, Jasmine's undoing all of God's good work, bargain by bargain. So Sean introduces all the cast, and Mike and Ximena, well, apparently they're back together. Somebody should tell Ximena to tell her face. She still hates him. But first up, we're going to talk about Gino and Jasmine. Gino tells us that Jasmine's K1 visa is in process, and they talk about Jasmine's jealousy. Jasmine looks completely unrepentant as she's watching video after video of her skitzing out, like an ADHD child who's just been given a Dunkin' Donut and a can of Coke. But guys, at the end of the montage, she said, I regret nothing. Oh, right. So she looks unrepentant because she is unrepentant. And she said, I've been very transparent with him. Jasmine, just because you tell people I'm a bitch doesn't mean that you can just behave like a bitch at will for the rest of your time on planet Earth. That's not how it works. And then she explained to us that she always believes that Gino is trying to cheat. And guys, it would turn out that this is virtually true. Because Sean said, Gino, have you messaged anyone in the cast at all? And Gino said no. And she said, nobody at all? No. Well, I've messaged some of the cast, but no. Gino really does make these things difficult. Gino, we know when you're lying now. You look to the left, look to the right, look to the left, your feet fidget a little bit. We know what you're like when you're lying. We can tell. And so then Jasmine started saying, Gino, just tell the truth. I want to hear it from you, not from anyone else. You're kind of hearing it from someone else, Jasmine. Gino's only going to say now whatever it is that he's done because Sean has put him on the spot. And Sean said, what about Jessica? Who's Jessica? And Gino had quite a strange response. He said, no. Now, when I heard Jessica, I thought to myself, who's Jessica? And that's exactly what Gino should have been saying, unless, of course, he'd been speaking to her. And so, of course, it turns out that he did actually message her. And meanwhile, whilst all of this was happening, Jasmine's in the background saying, tell the truth, Gino, tell the truth. He can't, Jasmine. He doesn't know how. God hasn't given him the tools. And guys, she reminded me of was his name Kalo Katin, who was a prosecution witness in the O.J. Simpson murder trial. And whilst he was in the stand giving his testimony, he said, tell the truth, O.J. The person's deadly committed to lying. They're in the middle of a lie. You just saying, tell the truth, doesn't mean that person suddenly thinks, oh, should I just stop lying now and just tell the truth? No, they are both utterly committed to lying, both Gino and O.J. Simpson. Anyway, of course, it turns out that he did text her, but he tried to say that she texted him first. And apparently he asked, are you Sicilian? With a smiley face and a cowboy hat emoji. And she said no, but my husband is very definitely Italian. But then Gino told yet another lie, and he claimed that she reached out to him first. Sean said, do you have the text as proof? And he said, no, I don't. Why would he delete it? Just why? And then Gino said, I've never cheated on Jasmine. No, you haven't, Gino, because the only way you can get sex is to actually go out and pay for it. Nobody really wants to just sleep with you, but if they did, you would have cheated by now. I guarantee it. So, I don't even feel like I need to break this down. There's no real reason that Gino would have wanted to know anything from Jessica. because she wasn't in the cast, and in fact she only appeared, I think, on one show for about 5 minutes. So he's had to actually go out of his way to discover who she was and then to start messaging her. He's such a little weasel, I can barely believe it. And now, surprise, surprise, he has no evidence for the fact that it was she who tracked him down. I have evidence. Gino, just look in the mirror. The evidence is staring you in the face. And then we have a bit of an excruciatingly embarrassing section where Jasmine and Gino discuss their sex life. And she said when Gino came over for a month, they only had sex once. So this to me is quite interesting, and I've got 2 things to say on it. Firstly, I believe they had lots of sex the first time he went over because he used Viagra. I think the second time he went, he either didn't take any or didn't have any. I remember the first time he slept with her and Jasmine said, oh, it was 5 times in a night. And Gino said, I didn't even need my little blue pills. Gino's 52 or 53. 5, 6 times in a night, no blue pills. I don't know that I'd buy it myself, I really don't. But there's something else, and it's something that Mr. Ebird brought to my attention quite a while ago when we first saw Gino and Jasmine get together. And she was saying, I want sex on the first night, I'm very sexual. And he said, I've got Jasmine's number. Jasmine is going to bombard him with sex because she thinks that's what she's got to offer that's going to make the difference with Gino. That's how she's going to be able to manipulate him, be a brat, and get everything she wants via sex. And he definitely thought she was using sex as a tool. I'm not saying I necessarily agree. Maybe she is just a very sexual person. I don't know, but yeah, that was his take for what it's worth. So Gino's excuse for not having sex was because they argued every other day, and that was putting him off. Yeah, I don't really buy that. There's such a thing as make-up sex for a reason. But then we have what I think is the most interesting thing about this relationship that we didn't already know, and that is that this couple met on a sugar baby's website. Really? A 35-year-old baby? Oh well, if you like it, I love it. But Jasmine said, I had no idea it was a sugar baby website. Absolute crap. I've been trawling around these sugar baby websites just to find out more information. And each and every one clearly displays a very much older, silver-haired usually man and a very young-looking 18-year-old girl. There's no 2 ways about it. You know what you're looking at when you look at this sort of site. Also, Jasmine's level of English and understanding of English is excellent. She teaches American literature in a private school, so nuances aren't lost on her. I think 100% she knew it was a sugar baby website, and she knew very well, I'm just going to try and find somebody rich and who doesn't mind paying for it, and that's exactly what she got. The only reason I'm a little bit pissed off about it all is because she gave all this diatribe about, you're a sad, depressing man, and you have to spend money on girls to get them to sleep with you. Well, that's the same carrot that you were dangling, Jasmine. It's all a little bit two-faced for me, all a little bit duplicitous. And Jasmine was saying, why won't he sleep with me? Why won't he sleep with me? I love this man. I love his big belly and his goofiness. That's what I love about him. And guys, I really don't care if these guys are sleeping together or not. But what happened next was slightly interesting. We welcomed Uncle Marco and Auntie Sandy to the stage. And it would seem they're here to talk about the prenup. Sandy's hair clashed with her top, Marco's top, and with every single thing on planet Earth. They start out by saying they think that Jasmine should sign a prenup before marrying Gino. Jasmine listens for but a second and she said, I would never, ever sign a prenup. And she said, if anything goes wrong in our marriage, I will kick Gino out of the house and I'll keep everything. And I can't help but think this is all a little bit performative. I don't think that she would sign. However, saying that she'd kick him out, I think was just something for the cameras. And they argue back and forth, and Jasmine says she's not planning on getting divorced. Jasmine, you've already gotten divorced once, so it's kind of on the cards. And also, as you've pointed out, Gino's a massive cheat, so it's more likely than not that you will at some point divorce. And as they were arguing back and forth, Gino said, does anybody want to know what I think? I love this woman, and I'm not going to ask her to sign a prenup. And Mike and Ben and other people are shaking their heads as if to say, you're crazy. But I don't think he is. I think Gino's intelligent enough with his money to know where to hide it, so Jasmine hasn't got a hope in hell of getting her sticky little fingers on it. And that was the end of Gino and Jasmine. And next up they decided to talk to Kim and Soja Boy. So Sean asked Kim how it was going, and she said it's okay, but since we've been back, I haven't really talked to Usman as much as I did before. But Usman said, no, there's no problem in our relationship at all. You're right, Usman, there is no problem, because you don't have a relationship. And then Sean decided to talk about this whole second wife thing, and we've spoken about this in comments at length. We know that the moment Soja Boy so much as looks in another woman's direction, Kim goes ballistic. And I guess Sean's noticed the same thing. And she asked Kim, you said you'd be happy, him having a second wife. Is that still the case? And so Kim said, well, we haven't even crossed that step yet. So it's crazy to talk about it right now. No, it's not, because if you're not happy to do it and Usman wants to have a kid, that means that your relationship is done right now. So it's actually the right time to talk about it. Never better. And then Kim said, I just don't know. I can't say until it happens. You can say. You know very well that you wouldn't like it. And if you had it your way, you'd try and marry him and then try and convince him not to do it or kick up a massive stink when he does do it. And Usman said, I love you, baby. I love you more than any woman in my life. And guys, this was just too much for me. Usman, why are you putting on this fake facade? We know for a fact you don't even like Kim. Never mind love her. You're already on the show. What more do you want? And then they talk a bit about if Usman was to get a second wife, and Kim said, well, it wouldn't be cheating because I would know about it. I'd be aware. And at one point, I think she said something like, just let me enjoy being his girlfriend. She really does live in a fantasy world. And then Sean asked him, please let us know, what is sex the African way? And Usman ummed and ahed a bit, but then he said, well, we believe that we know how to do it better. Really, Soja Boy? Well, I've heard you don't like kissing and you don't like foreplay. So based on personal experience, whatever it is you're doing certainly isn't better. He's so asinine. And then we welcome to the stage Kim's son. Guys, I've got to say, what a wet blanket he is. He said very confidently, I'll never ever call Usman a stepdad. He could be my mum's son. And he kind of danced around the fact that he doesn't think this is a good relationship because of the age difference and the way that Usman treats his mum is kind of more like an assistant than a girlfriend. Oh no, it isn't. Kim is no assistance to anybody. And then he said in one of the most lily-livered statements I think I've ever heard, considering the circumstances, I can't say that I wouldn't disrupt a wedding if it were to happen. You can't say that you wouldn't disrupt the wedding. And this is the person that Kim was threatening Soja Boy with. Hilarious. I'd honestly be more scared of Mike. And he talked a bit about the MacBook and the PS5. But Jamal really should have pulled Usman up on his treatment of his mum a little bit more. And then the question of Zara comes up. And guys, this was quite sad actually, because for some reason Kim had no idea that this bit was filmed with Soja Boy and Zara. And they showed the worst bit, which was Soja Boy saying, you're the number one woman in my life. And she teared up a bit and she was dabbing her eyes. And she actually said, this is so humiliating. And I thought the whole thing was a little bit mean. Obviously from production, but most of all from Soja Boy. And then Usman said, the problem is, Kim's very like my ex-wife. She's very quick to get angry, and I'm seeing that there's similarities. Yes, Soja Boy, because you chat up other women, you flirt and you cheat. And then when they pull you up on it, you sit in front of them and smirk and laugh as if their feelings mean nothing. That's why you get the bad attitude that you get. But the worst thing of all was when he tried to justify to Sean why he was able to speak to Kim and Zara at the same time. And he said he was in a relationship with Zara, but there's no big deal for Kim because he wasn't in a relationship with her. You're in a relationship with somebody else. And you know good and well that you were misrepresenting yourself. You had her buying you expensive gifts and spending hours a day texting and calling you. And all of that time, you were not available for a relationship. And guys, I know one thing. There's been lots of people in the comments saying he did nothing wrong. He wasn't seeing Kim, so no big deal. I'll tell you one thing. He knew he did something wrong because when he went to tell Kim, remember when they were at that spice farm, he was very trepidatious as he went to tell her. And he said, oh, there's something I need to tell you. If you thought you were doing nothing wrong, if that was your genuine belief, why were you so worried about telling her? Guys, to me, his lies just don't stack up. And so that was pretty much about it for this tell-all. What I want to see for next episode is, I want to see Zara to hear what she's got to say. I want to see any of Ella's many men. I personally believe them to be fictitious, but who knows? And one of my subscribers said that they wanted to hear from Jasmine's ex-husband. Me too. I want to know what madness she pulled with him. I also want Sean to talk to Jasmine about her kids. Are you going to move them to America? Are you going to leave them where they are? What's the situation? It's been very silent from the narrative, and that's quite interesting to me. And so guys, in comments below, what I want you to do today is to let me know, what questions do you think should be asked in the next episode? What do you think we've missed out? from Usman and Kim's story and from Jasmine and Gino. Also, who do you want to see on the stage? Guys, thank you so much for listening. A massive thank you to everyone who's subscribed to me so far. I'll be back very soon with my next video, but in the meantime, don't forget to smash the like button and also the notification bell. Guys, it's very important to hit that bell. You've been listening to Ebird Online, and I bid you good day.